Okay, we're live. Can people see me and hear me? How are we doing? Looks good on my end. Looks like the sound's on. Looking good. Okay. Welcome aboard, people. Now, I feel like today's game kind of speaks for itself. I did a post-game video. I did a post-game stream on Bleacher, and by the way, apologies to anybody who was there on Bleacher. I know there were some issues on the app tonight, so people couldn't really watch. So I want to say sorry to anybody who was there for that, but hopefully next week we do better. There next week we will be trying it again, so don't give up on Bleacher. It's a great app. They're just having some issues with some of the streaming right now. This has been this is a thing they're going to work out. So anyway, Seattle Seahawks played a game today. The defense played fine. I think that people are getting a little over the top with praise for the defense. They got bailed out pretty heavily by the missed field goals. But the defense did play pretty well. They forced some turnovers. They got stops. They got some quarterback pressure. And there was definitely some disruption on the interior of that defensive line. Like, there was some good stuff from this one, but Woolen obviously needs to get going. I know Rye Guy sent in a super chat for thank you for the $1.99 Rye Guy send Reek to the Salvadorian Supermax prison. I can't believe it's week 1 and we're already here. It's week 1 and we're already here with Woolen. Like, at least last year, he waited until later in the season to start falling off. He's doing this week 1. Like, I'm sorry. Get out of here. Brendan, did you touch on Coach Mack tucking his tail between his legs and kicking on 4th and half a yard? I did. I hated it. I think I said something about it on the Bleacher Report stream, but nobody could hear it because the stream was having problems. But to me, that was kind of a no-brainer. Brennan was legit the only content creator that wasn't irrational with the Hopium this offseason. A lot of our fans gave him shit for it. He was right. Well, I thought we had a bad offseason. I did. I did think we had a bad offseason. I did think that the inertia from this team getting a coach like Mike McDonald and building up continuity on the defense would be enough to still make the team better. But I don't know. I may have not gone far enough. I think you guys, obviously, you guys watching this this stream right now, you guys don't make YouTube videos, but I think you guys can understand that at a certain point, when you are not too optimistic about the team that you're talking about, there is definitely a very negative reaction from the fans, and eventually it just gets exhausting. Eventually you just, as somebody that just is sick of fighting with people all the time, you eventually just want to say, okay, fine. Well, you find a different way to look at things so you can make people make people happy. I don't know if that makes sense to any of you guys, but there's definitely comes a point where you as a fan or you as a content creator dealing with fans just eventually just want to give the fans what they want to hear. And I did a little bit. I still maintained we had a bad offseason. I think we had a bad offseason. I didn't think that would make the team bad, but it may. I may have needed to push it a little bit more further. But I don't know, man. It's tough. Anyway, guys, the chat's pretty active right now. We already got about 140 people in here, so let me just say real quick, I'm going to get to as many chat comments as I can, but I'm definitely not going to be able to get to all of them. There's just no way. So if you have a comment you really want me to see and read and respond to, you can either send it in as a super chat, a member message, or as a tip. There's a link near the top of the description for tipping, by the way, in case anyone's wondering where that is. And I actually just remembered something. Let me go adjust something real quick in the description. There's something in the description that I forgot to put up. But yeah, guys, today is not the day to expect me to play the it's just one game card. It really is not just one game. It's a game against the 49ers when all their good players are injured. And you still can't find a way to win. They're bricking field goals off the post. They're getting field goals blocked. They're turning the ball over multiple times. And you still can't find a way to win. Man, what is up with Buffalo? Is this finally the year Sean McDermott can't build a good defense? Well, when we decided to move on from Lockett and Metcalf this offseason, I knew we were going to have to sign one of the potentially washed up receivers. Either Cooper Kupp or Stephon Diggs or Amari Cooper or, I don't know, maybe Brandon Cooks, somebody like that. It would have been somebody like that, right? And I kind of made my peace with the fact that we were going to have to pick one of those guys and hope we got the right one. And of those guys, Cooper Kupp, I thought had the best chance of not being washed. But after today, I don't know about that. We'll need a little more time to figure that out. But I did not think Kupp played a good game at all. I thought even on that third down where he made the catch, I thought he cut his route short, which is why he didn't get the first. I don't think he needed to cut the route as short as he did. I think that he could have pushed upfield for another yard, gotten the first, and we probably win the game. I hate to boil things down to something that simplistic, but it feels like that's the reality of the situation. Kupp made one bad play. Well, I think he made two bad plays, but even if I accept that, it depends on if he's getting open or not. And I don't know what the answer to that is. It depends on who you ask, but there are a lot of people out there who think he was not getting open. That's not how routes are set up, though. Well, I don't think the coverage dictated that that he needs to break it off that early. I don't think the coverage forced him to break it off early like that. I think he could have pushed it upfield another yard. But it's, it's certainly debatable. I will say this. I think Kupp was open on the fumble. And Darnold didn't get it out fast enough to him, but that's always a little bit of a tricky one. Murphy, it knows the whole game was really annoying. Yeah, that's not going away, people. And that's going to continue to be one of those little things. Like, John Schneider can do a lot of things right, but that was such a simple thing to get right, and he didn't do it. Now, I don't even think it hurt us that much today. We stopped the run fine. And Murphy is not really a bad choice for a nose tackle in a game against the Niners because they're more of a finesse running team. Wari got hurt early too. That did probably play a role. Maybe there was a little bit of an emotional letdown for the defense after losing Wari on the first play of the game. Darnold said he was going to check down on the fumble. It's just kind of a tough play. I don't really know who to really go after right now about it, but it's just one of those plays. I don't understand why Sam is getting hate when he wasn't bad at all. I don't think he was bad, but he wasn't good. Like, he had less than 100 passing yards until the very end of the game. Maybe he wasn't, like, bad, but you can't tell me he was good. There's a lot of problems to untangle in the offense, though. They did seem to indicate they don't think Nick's injury is that big of a deal, but we were not going to know until hopefully tomorrow. What happened with Torrey Horton? What happened with pretty much everyone on the offense? The whole offense was just spam the ball to Smith. Yeah, I don't think Murphy played bad. It's just such a waste of his skill set to have him playing the nose. Dark Law, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the channel. Passing yards is a bad way to judge QB play. Oh, I agree that it's just part of a much bigger picture. It's a part of a much bigger picture, absolutely. But I think it's really hard to look at a quarterback who doesn't even hit 100 yards until the do or die drive of the game with less than 2 minutes left and say that he did his job. And there were a couple throws that he could have made in that first half that he didn't make. Like, he had a couple of big boy chances and he just didn't hit them. So again, I'm not saying he played bad, but I don't see how he played good. Your announcement sound is twice as loud as your voice. Oh, hold on. That should be better. Sorry about that. Well, we actually ran the ball more than we threw it, so I don't think you can say that it's like the Grubb offense. But
can't blame Darnold.
It was very bad in a different way. Like, I love screen passes, but how are you running? How do the screens look this bad? We run screens, and it just kind of looks like we've never, like we don't practice them. Or the Niners were in the huddle and were completely prepared for exactly what we were going to run. Aiden Simmons, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Can't blame Darnold for running the called plays. Yeah, my thing with that is I think there were a couple opportunities for him to hit some throws that he just didn't hit in that first half. And again, I don't think he played bad, but there were a couple of I think there was a 3rd and 12 out route to JSN. And I think he was in a good position to be able to hit that throw, and he just didn't.
I don't remember a game that embarrassing in a while. I think it's going to be a long year. Thanks for the
380.
content, Brendan.
Green 80, thank you for the $13.99 Canadian, which is like $10. I don't remember a game that embarrassing in a while. I think it's going to be a long year. Thanks for the content, Brendan. I do think that embarrassment is an appropriate word to use here because the Niners were beat up unbelievably so. Like, the Niners, they lost Kittle. They lost Jawan Jennings. Trent Williams didn't look that good. And that's on top of the fact they don't have Ayuk. DMC is probably less than 100%. And I don't think he's completely blameless on the fumble either. I think he needs to feel that out a little bit better. I think he needs to feel that out a little bit more than he did. I'm not completely killing him for it, but I don't think it's right to completely absolve him the way people have. But I don't know. It's hard for me to look at a game where there was that little production offensively and say the quarterback did his job. And I know people are sick of hearing it, but it's really hard to not look at what happened in New England today and be very annoyed. There are only a couple quarterbacks in the whole league that played as well as Geno did today. Raiders had 9 passing plays of 20 or more yards today. I don't think any other team had more than 5. Like, it's tough to not look at that and be annoyed. I'm sorry. As someone who loves this team and wants them to win,
Why
hard to
didn't we
not be
pass
annoyed.
to Ousts, Barner, Arario Moore?
Adam Baum, thank you for the $1.99. Why didn't we pass to Oots, Barner, or Arroyo more? Yeah, the lack of usage of tight ends is definitely weird. I will say, one thing I'll say, it's really hard to get into your playbook. It's really kind of hard to get deep into your playbook when you can't sustain drives. So I'm sure they had plans, but then they kept going 3 and out for most of that game. Well, Geno is in a Chip Kelly offense. Sure, but he played very well. And why can't we get Chip Kelly if that's how it works? If it's that simple, we should be the ones to get Chip Kelly then. One of the issues is that we literally have no elite players. It's good players and then average or bad. Yeah, that's why even though I wasn't like really, really obsessed with it, I did like the idea of trading for Micah Parsons because that's an elite player. And maybe that's the only way you can get an elite player. Stat, Geno did not want out. Geno did not want out until we made it clear that we didn't want him here. That is like NPC stuff that people keep saying. Like, Seahawks fans keep saying that, and it's not true. And even if it is true, it's a very overly simplified way of looking at things that is not healthy. Most hated, thank you for the $1.99. How long before Horton passes Kupp? After today, I think it could be happening pretty
Passed
soon.
up for a promotion that was crap. I've pissed we couldn't score 2 TDI. Saw good field position and Geno wasn't the main problem.
Kupp, I'm a little down on him right now, but look, it's 1 week. Let's see what happens over the next few weeks. Again, it's hard to get deep into your playbook when you're going 3 and out so much, but I didn't think Kupp played a good game at all. Carson, thank you for the member message. The downfall of Woolen is odd to me. Such a talent, and in that entire fourth quarter, he's just looking like it's his first time playing cornerback or something. He doesn't want it, man. He doesn't want it. I don't know what else to say about it. He hasn't even gotten paid yet, and he's doing this. It's unbelievable. He hasn't even gotten paid yet, and he's playing like this. What's going to happen when he gets paid? Be calm. Thank you for the $5. Passed up for a promotion than this crap. I'm pissed we couldn't score 2 touchdowns. I saw good field position, and Geno wasn't the main problem. Yeah, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm a little bit, well, okay, no, more than a little bit. I am wondering if we're going to have to learn a difficult lesson this year about the nature of quarterback play. Kind of like the Giants are, right?
Ryan Day
The Giants
Chip
might
Kelly
be in the
for
middle of
triumphant face emoji.
Learning this lesson with Daniel Jones. Well, although I still don't think Daniel Jones is good, but Daniel Jones has that game in his first game out of New York. Like, well, not his first game out of New York, but his first start out of New York. And it's just like, you can't help but start to wonder. Be calm, see clearly. Thank you for the $2. Ryan Day hired Chip Kelly for a reason. Chip is very good. I don't know if I want him as an offensive coordinator, but I mean, everything's going to be flawed, right? There are going to be problems in the Chip Kelly offense just like there are in any other offense. Yeah, I don't think Reek is going to get paid by us. Somebody will pay him. He's way too talented to not get paid something, but I'm just kind of over it. I'm over it, man. Initial release had Job with a 90 PFF grade. I did think he played good. I don't know about 90. $50 says at the end of the trade deadline, we'll hear Schneider say, I like who we have after we made 0 trades. I mean, that may not be a bad thing, though. We may not want to trade for anybody at the deadline. That might be okay. Like, we might just want to go ahead and take it on the chin and move on.
Coaches evolve. Triumphant face emoji.
Be calm, see clearly. Thank you for the $2. I believe that he probably has, although I did think the Raiders were pretty pass happy today. I was a little surprised how little Jean T got used, but I was looking at it and it was like, man, they can't run block. Most hated, thank you for the $1.99. Yeah, the Milroe play drove me crazy. Wasn't that like the third play from scrimmage? Wasn't that the third play from scrimmage? Like, how unnecessary was that? We actually had a little bit of a drive going there. And then we just decided to let Milroe kill it. I was very confused. Yeah, well, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing that I want to say. I don't really like John Schneider. I don't think he's done a good job since Pete got fired. He's not going anywhere. There's no way he's going anywhere. I'm sorry. You're not going to hear me ask for John Schneider to get fired this season. You're not. Whatever happens, I'm not going to waste my time. We just gave him a monster contract extension, which I didn't support. And after today, I think some people kind of see why, and maybe you'll see why even more next week. We'll see, but I'm not going to waste my time talking about something that has no chance of happening.
Can't run block, rolling on the floor laughing emoji, coping hard man.
So that's not going to happen. I think we could go 0-17 and Schneider's still safe. So I'm not going to bother with it. Be calm. Thank you for the $2. Guess who else can't run block? What, Ohio State? Are you saying Ohio State can't run block? I don't know. I didn't get a chance to watch their games yet. I think Kubiak is a good offensive mind. I do. I think he was terrible today, and I don't really understand why he was so terrible. But I think that overall he is a good mind, and I'm not going to switch up on that. Maybe I will by the end of the season. Well, the thing is, everybody knows, and it pretty much has to happen contractually, the Seahawks are going to get sold. It just could be a few years, so they want to keep Schneider to run the show until it gets sold, and then the new owner is probably going to want their own GM. So it makes sense, but it leaves us as fans in an awkward state where the team is not really willing to spend a lot of money right now either because of the escrow stuff. I've talked about this before, but if you look at the Seahawks salary cap situation, they have very little money committed for down the next few years after these next two. And a big reason why that might be is because they don't want to put money in escrow. That might be something that the owner is asking for because the owner knows they're going to sell soon. It's kind of the same thing that these cash poor organizations do, like the Cowboys, or theoretically, the Cowboys. Guys, there are only 17 games. The current owners are making hand over fist. There's no reason for them to sell. I think they literally have to. Now, she could sell part of the team to herself, but I think she is literally obligated to sell the team. She could hold on to it for a while, but I don't think she has a say in the matter. Okay. Can anyone in the chat tell me how many games the Seahawks missed the playoffs by last year?
No, the Seattle Seahawks. My Bucks are the defending the national champions. And also it's not a comparison. OSU has elite godly talent. 100 emoji.
Thank you, Be Calm, See Clearly. Okay. I thought you were saying the Bucks couldn't stop the run block either, but I was going to say, I don't think that's right. They've only played 2 games, and I think they won both in blowouts. And I know they beat Grambling 70-0. That's an all-timer. Yeah, 1. Yeah. Pretentious Cameron, thank you for the member message. If Jody sells his McDonald, most likely replaced. I think McDonald, as long as he has a good track record of success, is fine. Yeah, we missed the playoffs by 1 game last year. How many games did we miss the playoffs by the previous year? Does anybody know? Yeah, see, these 1 games matter. This isn't baseball. In baseball, you can lose a really bad game and it's not a big deal. McDonald isn't a good coach right now. He's definitely a good football mind. Maybe we'll find out that he's not a good head coach, but we're going to need some time to determine that one. I don't think we can conclude that at this moment. I will say that I do think we need to put away the anointing oil. I don't know if he's a good coach or not. I think that he is. I think that he is.
Offense and defense were horrible.
But I don't know if he is. And a lot of people act like they know.
Defense was exhausted.
And there's no way they can know yet. John Boyce, thank you for the $5. It was very annoying how, even though the way we got there was different, the ultimate end result of that game was basically the same as what we've dealt with in previous years. You know, it's kind of like, and I don't want to say that I'm drawing a direct equivalency. It's kind of like Brian Daboll, right? Brian Daboll had a really good first season in New York, and New York fans thought, oh, well, we have the coach. We got the coach now. We got our coach. We're good. And it's like, really? And look where they are now. I think 95% of Giants fans want Daboll fired. So, you know, slow it down. You got to do something over and over and over again and have a high level of success repeatedly to really get there. I just want to say we never should have fired Shoddy. Wilson's best years were with him, and it was the last time our offense was consistent. I mean, Schottenheimer's offense is not great for the way the NFL is right now. I feel like that would be the one thing I would put out there. I don't know if Schottenheimer's a good fit for the modern NFL. Like, I love screens. I love screens, but we need to not run screens until we can actually run some that don't look like we never practiced it before.
And we are number 1.
I don't know, it just drives me nuts.
I was very critical of Ryan Day. He's growing every day. Beating Texas again proved he can win ugly. 100 emoji.
Thanks for the $5, Be Calm. Yeah, I'm wondering, man, does Ohio State just repeat? You would think the way college football is, it should be really, really hard to repeat because you lose all your players to the NFL if you go win the title, but I do wonder, man. Dante Moore is not an NFL player. Slow it down, people. Dante Moore is not an NFL quarterback. He's like tiny. Isn't he like, I think he's like 4'2". I think Dante Moore is like 4'2", and he weighs 83 pounds.
Hey BTHX for the content. I'm not as down on what I saw as most.
Hey,
Didn't
Upo,
like it,
thank you for the
but
$5.
just a couple of tweaks need to be made. We're still building.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that point of view. It's just the Niners did everything they could to give you this win. They gave you so many opportunities. They bricked 2 easy field goals. What do you think about Geno on the Raiders? I thought he played a pretty phenomenal game. He probably had like 8 or 9 big-time throws from PFF in that game. I am an Arch Manning guy, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to draft him. We're not going to be that bad, and I don't think he's going to come out anyway. I think he's coming out next year's draft in 2 years. So I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about guys like Drew Allar, Lenoris Sellers. Mm-mm. Mm. Yeah. I don't know. I know that there's been a real effort from some Seahawks fans to defend Darnold, and I don't think Darnold played bad. But I really struggle with the idea of him playing like a good game. Oh my God, what a throw. Wow. With how little production the offense had. Like that's really tough. Norris Sellers doesn't go top. He might go top 5, admittedly. That's actually a good point. There's no way we're taking a quarterback this year because Schneider took Milroe in the third. Exactly. Exactly. Like, that's why I didn't like that pick more than anything else. Hopefully it's not the case. Did he actually catch that? Wow. What a catch. Would you want Demond Williams? I think Demond Williams is too small. He's going to get injured in the NFL. Who is this on? Kubiak, McDonald, or Darnold? I mean, blaming one person is kind of a waste of time, but if you have to pick one, I guess it's Kubiak. I guess. Should Mike McDaniel be fired? I think he will probably get fired. I think he'll probably get fired by the end of the year. Do you like the FSU quarterback? I'm not sure who that is. I'm not sure. Oh, Castellanos? Castellanos. He's really small too. He's like 5'10", 180 pounds. That's not going to work in the NFL. You are the Colby Patone of the Seahawks. I don't know who that is. I don't know who Colby Pantone is, or Colby Patnode, or I don't know who you're talking about. Yeah, guys, honestly, guys, I don't care how bad Darnold plays this year. I don't want to hear anything about Milroe, okay? Milroe is so far away from being ready to play quarterback in the NFL, it's not even funny. Pratik Khanna, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the channel. Right, I don't think we're going to fire Mac. Why do you think that I think that? What if we have a losing record this year? Does Schneider get fired? No, I don't think there's any way Schneider gets fired unless he goes into Jody Allen's office and pulls his pants down or something. Like, I think it would take him doing something to get arrested to get him fired. Yeah, guys, the Schneider thing, it's kind of like, it's like Cowboys fans asking Jerry Jones to sell the team. It's not going to happen, so stop. Like, stop thinking you can make that happen. Think about that. No, I was talking about Mike McDaniel, not Mike McDonald, right, guy? We trade for a receiver? No. Who are you going to trade for? It's week 1. Trade Woolen and a 4th for Marlon Humphrey. Woolen's got no trade value. Ravens always beat the Bills unless it's the playoffs. Does kind of feel like that. This was an ugly loss. The offense was garbage. We traded our 2 best players on offense. Sorry, I'm not drinking any Kool-Aid the rest of the year.
Dude can bull FRQB.
Yeah, and look, I understand trying to do things differently this offseason, but that's kind of my thing. Like, we didn't really do anything that differently. We basically took all the money we would have given Geno and gave it to Darnold. Okay? We basically took all the money that we would have had to give to Geno and we gave it to Darnold. We're saving like, what, $2 million a year? I'm sorry. $2 million is, I don't care if Jody Allen gets to afford another ivory back scratcher. And we're saving money on DK, but we also didn't get anything for him. We basically traded him for Elijah Arroyo. Sorry. You're not going to conscript me into liking that. And I know DK didn't play a perfect game today, but he looked a heck of a lot better than any receiver we had except for JSN. I think Castellanos is 210 pounds. Really? He looks small. I wasn't thinking about him as an NFL prospect, but if he's 210, maybe.
Can we talk about how Mike looked when he ended the game? It felt like he had what he wanted and ended a practice game. He didn't look mad or happy or something. He was like, we got this, and left.
Simo's Jen, thank you for the $10. Can we talk about how Mike looked when he ended the game? I mean, I think he's just that kind of guy, and that's fine. Especially when he's dealing with the media. It's fine if he's like that with the media. I'm not really worried about that. Like, he's keeping things on an even keel. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially dealing with the media. Austin member message, thank you. Rough one, Steelers game almost becomes must win. It kind of, I mean, it's close. I'm not going to say it is a must win because 7 teams make the playoffs and we have an easy schedule, but I don't want this team to try to dig themselves out of 0-2. DK wanted $35 million. Well, he got $30 million, so you probably could have gotten him for $30 million. I don't know why he would have demanded more from the Seahawks than he got from the Steelers. That doesn't make any sense to me. But who cares about, guys, like, why do you, okay, serious question. Why do you guys care if Jody Allen can afford one more ivory back scratcher? Like, why does that mean anything to you? If Jody Allen has to spend a couple million more dollars to get a player, that's making your life better because you're getting to root for a better player when you watch your favorite football team play. And it's making it so Jody Allen has less money, which does not affect your life in any way whatsoever. It's about being smart about money. Is it smart with money to give 40 million plus to Cooper Kupp, who looks pretty washed up? Like, that money's going to get spent one way or another. As a fan, don't you want the team to spend that money on the best players possible? I don't understand. Like, you do realize the Seahawks, even if they did save money on this stuff, they didn't spend it. They're just sitting on it right now. So how is that? How's that helping? I was indifferent. I was fine with
Mike
trading
doesn't learn
DK,
offense if
but
this
I
keeps
just
up.
don't
Crying
understand.
face emoji.
I don't know. I don't understand this thing where so many fans get obsessed with the idea of cap space, when, by the way, the team doesn't even seem to want to spend their cap space instead of having good players. Like, are we going to wear hats at the end of the year that say 2025 most efficiently financial put together team? Or do we want to wear a hat at the end of the year that says 2025 Super Bowl champions?
It's funny
Are we going to
DK
wear a
wanted a
hat that
warm
says
weather
we
team
led
but
the league
shipped
in
him
cap
off to Middle
space
America.
in 2025? No, I'm not. I don't understand this. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Right, guy, thank you for the $4.99. It's funny, DK wanted a warm weather team but shipped him off to Middle America. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, shit. Oh, get in there. Oh, down at the one. By the way, players want out all the time and they still don't get traded. So you can just say, too bad you signed a contract, honor your contract, or I don't understand it. I don't know. I don't root for cap space. I root for players. I root for a football team that goes out there on the field every week. Cap space is not going to make me win games. Is it possible Kubiak just sucks against his former coach and we're overreacting? That better not be the excuse. I have Josh Allen in my fantasy league, so I would not mind a touchdown here. I mean, this went beyond a bad game. You could get 300 yards in this game, and it would still be a pretty bad game, but that would have been enough to win. We had, what, 230 yards of offense, I think? I think we had 230 yards of offense. That's not even a bad day offensively. That's kind of something that should almost never happen in the modern NFL, I feel like. What is this, the 1980s? No, the season's not done if we lose next week. I'm not going to say that.
Again,
I will
at the
say
end of
I'm
the
going to
day,
have
the
zero
Seahawks on a lost
enthusiasm.
weird play in the red zone for a comeback win. It sucks we didn't, but the cue is we would have won the conversation.
Like,
The
I'm
difference
already
now-
pretty... The air has been let out of the balloon for me, but... Simosian, thank you for the 10. If we would have won, would the conversation be different now? I mean, I think so. The problems would still very much be there. But at least we'd be 1-0 and we'd feel like we have a little bit of a foundation to lean on. I really do not like the sour grapes from this fandom. This fan base is one of the worst fan bases, I think, in sports in terms of like the sour grapes thing. When a player leaves or we lose a player or whatever, the whole, or even a coach, the whole fan base just is like, oh, well, I never really wanted him. He was never that good because he did this, he did that. I think that is just the most toxic and disgusting thing that you can do as a sports fan almost. Like, we even, like we did it with, you know, Russell Wilson. We did it with Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, even like Shane Waldron. Like, I don't know. It's not a good look. Shane Waldron was a lot better than the guy we got to replace him. That's all I'm saying. And we'll see about Kubiak. I still have high hopes for Kubiak, but after one game, I miss Waldron. I don't think Seahawks fans are special in that regard. I think they're worse than the other fan bases. I didn't see any Rams fans trashing Cooper Kupp when he left to the Seahawks. In fact, I saw Rams fans wishing him well for the most part. I don't think Kupp even blocked well. I'd have to look at it. I'm not sure. I mean, God, we are kind of dependent on Woolen being worth playing this year. Like, he can't be that bad. He cannot be that bad. I'm sorry. It doesn't sound like the Worry injury's that bad, but time will tell. Doesn't sound like it's that bad, but we'll find out. Yeah, I'm really not into the whole it's just one game thing. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. There are only 17 games. They only play 17 of them. So, I can only go so far with that. Now, obviously, it's true. But, I mean, how are we going to win? How are we going to win next week? And then if we don't win next week, we're 0-2. And then what do we do at 0-2? It feels like things are just slipping away. All right. 60 seconds, guys. Oh. Be calm. Thank you for the $2. The Super Bowl loss broke this fan base's brain. I don't know if it's that. It could be. That could definitely be a part of it. It's the same thing I see from Cowboys fans. They're the other fan base that I think goes like that. All right. 60 seconds, people. Before I go any further, I want to tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. If you're not using Sleeper this year, you are missing out. Look at all the great stuff you can get up to over there. Look at all the great picks you can make. Let's make some picks for this weekend. My entry is Jahmyr Gibbs with an anytime touchdown. I think that Green Bay run defense is going to get hurt a little bit by losing Kenny Clark. I've got Malik Neighbors. I got that one on sale. He only has to get to 64 receiving yards. He could do that in one play in that Giants-Washington game that I think will be pretty high scoring. I've also got Brock Bowers over 63.5 receiving yards. Who else is Geno going to throw the ball to? And Bucky Irving with an anytime touchdown. I think that Tampa Bay Atlanta game is going to be pretty high scoring. I say he gets in the end zone. So go check out Sleeper. Use promo code SBN and you'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Did you guys hear that? Did the audio on that thing work? It did work when I did it on stream last night, so I'm assuming that it worked, but I'm not sure. All right, cool. But anyway, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It was a tough game. It's a frustrating game. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to overcome it, but we can. We still have we still do have 16 games left, and I'll be here covering all of it. But it's a frustrating start, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. We do have a very easy schedule, so there's an opportunity for this team to still have a good record this year without being a great team. Yeah, Murphy played well. He's just could be playing so much better if he played his natural position. It's annoying. Would have been so easy to take care of nose tackle this offseason, but we didn't. It's these little things, man. Like, it's not that hard to get a nose tackle. It's really not that hard to get a nose tackle, especially this offseason. There was a lot of opportunity for it. Oh my God, that's probably the exclamation point. Ever Calderon says, who falut is it? Isn't falut like that food dish where it's like unfertilized duck eggs? Isn't that called falut? It's like really, really gross, but some people like it. You guys know what I'm talking about? I think it's like unfertilized duck eggs. I think it's called falut. Wow, they missed the extra point. That could be big. I don't know. I could be completely making stuff up out of left field right now. Thank John and Pete for passing on Jalen Carter. I mean, dude, Jalen Carter is surrounded by his buddies in Georgia. His Georgia buddies over in Philadelphia. And he still can't control himself. Imagine what he'd be doing here. It's called balut. Okay, thank you. Balut. Has anyone ever eaten it before? It seems like it'd be like
Our
inedible.
fans are either delusional
But
homers
somebody
or
out there's
casuals.
eating it. Most hated. Thank you for the $1.99. Our fans are either delusional homers or casuals. I think every fan base has some percentage of that. I feel like certain fan bases probably have a little more than others, but there are a lot of really smart and savvy Seahawks fans, even some ones I don't agree with. Like, you go on X, there's a lot of people on Seahawks X that really put the work in trying to understand this sport. guys like Griff, guys like Matty F. Brown, guys like what's the guy's name? MVP. There are some guys out there that do a lot of great work. And even if they get to the wrong conclusion sometimes, I know it comes from a place of putting a lot of work into it. So I don't want to say it's everybody. And like, you can do everything right and still get it wrong. You can do everything right and still just be wrong. You can look at all the right things. You can understand the game in the right way. You can put all this effort into solving the sport, and you can still just get it wrong. Cross looked great. I do think Cross probably looked good, but I mean, I didn't notice him, right? That's probably good, right? When you have a kicker, I'm sorry, a left tackle, and you don't notice him, he probably did pretty good. I mean, I can't believe it's only week 1 and I'm already like, get Woolen out of here. I can't believe we're already here. Well, I think Pete was a problem. Pete absolutely was a problem. That doesn't mean John can't be his own flavor of a problem. The same problem or a different problem. How much do you think Kubiak will be changing his play calling for the Steelers game? Hopefully a lot. That Steelers defense probably has more talent than the Niners defense.
Pittsburgh, I expect better. Red heart emoji. #GoHawks.
Thank you, Be Calm, for the $2. I imagine the game will probably be a little bit better. That doesn't mean we're going to have a chance to win. The Steelers are probably a better team than the Niners right now. Look at all the injuries the Niners have. Why did not double Bosa on passing downs? Yeah, I kind of agree. He's the only guy you should be remotely afraid of. Why do you expect better? Because it was so unbelievably bad today. I don't know how it could be worse. And I feel like it almost has to get better by default. Dude, it's week 1. I'm already losing my voice. This is bad. This is a bad sign. I'm near the end of the day on week 1, and I'm already losing my voice. This is not a good sign, people. We're cooked.
Trade Woolen to the Cowboys for Mozzie Smith.
Green 80, thank you for the $5 approximately. Trade Woolen to the Cowboys for Mozzie Smith. The Mozzie Smith thing is interesting. I will admit, I'm open to exploring something there. He's been so bad, though. Oh, I don't think we're going to beat the Steelers. I just think we're going to play a little bit better. Wow, Josh Allen, an interception. That's probably the game. Crazy. Stupid. I drafted Walker in fantasy thinking him and Kubiak would be a good pairing. I think it still can be. I still think it can be. Let's not... I don't want to completely bail. Oh, that hit the ground. That's not an interception. Oh, yeah, that's not an interception at all. Did you see the Steelers' run defense? It didn't look very good. Yeah, at least Evan Hill is getting roasted right now. That's the one thing I can appreciate about today. The thing is, isn't Mozzie Smith kind of expensive because he was a first-round pick? He might be making some real money this year. Do you think we come out against the Steelers with another soft trick play script? I would certainly hope not. Ray Davis, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, Addison. If we beat the Steelers, that does reset things a little bit, I will admit. But I don't like thinking like that, you know? I don't like thinking like that. Win the games you need to win. Win when you have an opportunity to win. And that way you're not chasing wins at the end of the season. But I will admit, if we beat the Steelers, we'll be right where I thought we'd be. So I'm open to it. But they have to go do it. I thought Oots played pretty good too, but it didn't amount to much. But yeah, Oots is going to be fine in his role. I like it. Ugh, man. Mm. Yeah, I saw the Noah Fant touchdown. Good for him. Oh, wow. Josh Allen sliding early may have basically ended the game. This channel needs a 1-hour breakdown of how to fix the team. Feels like we're going to be mid forever. Well, that probably at this point involves just completely gutting the team and just resetting. And they're never going to do that. So that feels like a waste of my time. Like, I'm not going to sit here and ask the team to gut themselves for a year. Which kind of feels like what they should have done, which is why I say they're not going to do it. Like, it does feel like they need to clear the deck here in a way that they're not willing to do. Did you light him up already? Oh, yeah, we talked about Woolen a lot. There's nothing to say except I guess he just doesn't want it. I guess he just doesn't want it. And that's weird, right? He has a chance to get a $100 million contract this offseason, and I guess he's not into it. Sign Stephon Gilmore? I doubt he has anything left. You know, I usually don't watch horror movies, but this movie actually looks interesting. This Him movie actually looks kind of interesting. I'm interested in seeing where it goes. Russ should be benched in like 2 weeks and then just never play again. That's really what needs to happen here. Honestly, Russ should probably be benched this week and just never play again. Like, this is embarrassing. It's like, I don't know. Watching Russell Wilson right now is like watching one of those hostage tapes that terrorists take, designed to demoralize their enemies by parading their people in really ugly, in really bad looking states, you know? That's what it looks like to me. I don't know if we never really abandoned the run today, though, is the thing, until the end when we had to. But I don't think we abandoned the run today. We just didn't run the ball successfully. The game plan was bad. Kubiak did a terrible job, but I don't think he gave up on the run. The run just didn't work. I don't really know what K9's supposed to do, though. He's just not getting blocking, and for whatever reason, Charbonnet was. I don't know what's up with it, but for some reason, they don't block for him. And for whatever reason, they blocked for Charbonnet today. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what I saw. Okay, third down. Ugh. Okay, 1 second, guys. I killed a fly, and I wasn't really expecting to actually kill it. Now I gotta wipe it off my keyboard. Hold on.
Kupp looked washed. Big mistakes by Woolen and JSN.
Addison, thank you for the $2. Coop looked washed. Big mistakes by Woolen and JSN. Yeah, I'm not going to kill JSN, but I'm going to say what I said before. This fan base loved to kill DK Metcalf for what? Fumbles, drops, and penalties. Well, today JSN had a drop, and today JSN had a fumble, so he went 2 out of 3. So, quite frankly, I keep the same energy, if you know what I mean. Keep the same energy. That being said, JSN played well, and he is a very good player. It's just the fumble's frustrating. It really felt like things were going our way, and then he puts the ball on the ground like that. It is frustrating. I can't believe with all the effort we put into rebuilding the offense this year in the first game we come out and just spam the ball to JSN, and that's the whole offense. Just spam it to JSN. 13 targets. Well, lucky. He should have held onto the ball better. Okay, this is football. Players are going to try to rip the ball out. Don't let them. Rude at. All right, Buffalo. I mean, game's not over yet, but they need a touchdown here. And, oh my goodness, they're going to start from inside their own 5. Where was Horton? Where was everybody except for JSN? Like, they could. I feel like they couldn't get to that part of their playbook. DK is still dropping balls in Pittsburgh. Well, yeah, because DK Metcalf drops passes. DK Metcalf drops the ball. That's what he does sometimes. What I'm trying to say is keep the same energy. He's not the only guy in the world who drops passes. I still like Kubiak, but he's going to have to prove it. And, you know, that's how I feel right now. I may not feel that way in a couple of months if I'm not seeing better things. Uh. JSN had a decent number of drops last year too, especially before his breakout. He dropped a lot of passes the first 2 months of the season. So, miss me with that. CeeDee Lamb is a top 5 receiver. He drops passes more than anybody. We couldn't even get the ball to Cooper Kupp or Torrey Horton. How are we going to get the ball to Jake Bobo? That ain't happening. I did kind of feel like the coverage was a little bit soft on a couple of plays. Like the Okada play. I'm sure you guys all know which one I'm talking about. The Okada play. That one was whew. Hope I never see that again. But Okada shouldn't be out there. That's the thing. That's why I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at Woolen. Woolen knows better than that. Woolen's better than that. Was that a face mask? No. Yeah, Arroyo only had 1 target the whole game. And again, I'm not even a fan of Arroyo, but he's here. You drafted him. You should probably throw him the ball a few times a game. Yeah, that's another thing. Like at a certain point, you got to figure they're just going to throw it to CMC over and over again. But then again, like their 10th string tight end beat us for the game-winning touchdown, so it's not even that simple. I know, AA. It feels like we did get sold a little bit of a false bill of goods. Oh boy. Is it me or Woolen hesitated? Oh yeah, Woolen definitely hesitated. I don't understand it too. I don't understand. This is his 4th year in the NFL and he's doing things like that. You ever watch these other teams play offense? You ever watch these other teams with the football and you just get really jealous? Like you're watching the Ravens and Bills on Sunday Night Football when they have the ball, when they're on offense, and it's like, you know, how do we get something even close to this? Like, man. Wow, drop. Bring back Pete Carroll. I'll say the Raiders defense did not get completely destroyed today, and that is a defense that is very low on talent. I will say that. If Pete Carroll gets a decent year out of that Raiders defense, there is some crow to eat there, I think. At least some. And don't get me wrong. McDonald, I think, is a good coach. I'm happy we have him, and that's going to be the case no matter what Carroll does. But if the Raiders actually have a good defense this year, we gotta own that a little bit. That's not going to be fun, but that defense should be one of the worst in the league based off talent. Fourth down for Buffalo. This is it. Oh, touchdown. Game not over yet. Why do we care? Guys, interceptions are really not that big of a deal. All right? I would have gladly taken some Sam Darnold interceptions today if he was actually able to rack up some movement up and down the field. Okay? Going 3 and out over and over again and punting. That's not buttering my biscuit any more or less than the occasional interception. Josh Allen used to throw interceptions more than almost anybody else in the league. Until last year, Josh Allen was an interception king, and everyone knew that he was still one of the best QBs in the league. Interceptions do not have to be that big of a deal as long as you're producing consistently, regardless of it. And Josh Allen is one of those guys who does. So, don't even trip. Brock Purdy threw 2 interceptions today, and he had a much better game than Darnold. By the way, we're up to $93.09 in Super Chat so far on this stream, so thank you, everybody, for coming out to support. I appreciate it. I'm not optimistic with the Hawks, Brendan. I feel this is going to be a rough year. It could be, and if it is, I'm not going to brush it off either. Like, if this ends up being a bad year, I'm not brushing it off. I know some Seahawks content creators and Seahawks fans will say, oh, it's not really that big of a deal. It's a rebuilding year. I'm not going to be on that wagon. You should not have a rebuilding year with a schedule this easy. Point blank. Man, Lamar, hard to deal with. So where do we go from here? We're going to Pittsburgh. That's where we're going. Oh! No way. Derrick Henry. Oh! All
What
right,
did you think
we got a
about pass
game.
blocking?
Addison, thank you for the $2. I thought the pass blocking was pretty good. I mean, what else are you going to say? They allowed 1 sack. I think Darnold got hit like twice other than the sack. You can't ask for much better. They just need a run block. And their ability to run block might be even more important than their ability to pass block. So that's kind of frustrating, right? Offensive linemen like to run block. and we gave our players a chance to be run blockers, and they didn't do it. Yeah, if the Ravens lose this game, that's pretty bad. Wow, down at the 1. Yeah, I'm really, really disappointed in Bradford, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of time, but I'm really annoyed that we play this game every offseason with him, it feels like now. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's like 2 off seasons. All right, Josh, come on, pound it in here. Not helping my fantasy team, Josh. Josh, I need I need it. You know, there is a realistic scenario where the Seahawks season is over before the Mariners season is over. Yeah, Witherspoon didn't play great, but I didn't see anything to get particularly upset with him about. Maybe 1 or 2 plays, but I don't get the sense that he played a bad game or anything. Daily stuff, we missed the playoffs that year by 1 game. We lost that game to the Rams and then ended up missing the playoffs by 1 game. So that loss ended up being a very big deal. I mean, Mike has already done a lot of the heavy lifting to fix this team is the thing. What's he supposed to do other than make the defense play good football? And he has done that. Josh? Yes, okay. Josh Allen gets in. Did anybody on the offensive line do good? I think Cross was good, but I'm not sure. Two-point conversion. This could be the game. Oh, Keon Coleman. Still plenty of time and 3 timeouts for Buffalo. Yeah, Purdy got away with 1, but I'm just annoyed that we allowed it, that Woolen actually let him get away with that. Like, give me a break, man. Looks like he's never played corner before in his life. We should have just paid Geno. That's how I feel. That's how I felt the whole time. I would have understood letting Geno go if you were going to just kind of rebuild or blow it up or just kind of turtle up, but you took 95% of the money you were going to give Geno and gave it to Sam Darnold. Like, well, why? Why? What's the difference? I don't think Geno would have made a difference. I don't see how he doesn't make a difference. I got to be honest. Yeah, I don't see myself getting over the Woolen thing, man. I think it's going to be a long time before I get over the Woolen thing. He could play really well the rest of the season, and I don't think I'd want him back. Yeah, Darnold is a pretty significant downgrade from Geno. I think we have to be real about that right now. And I always agreed with that. I always thought that, but not everyone was on board with me there. All right, can Buffalo get the ball back? No way Derrick Henry fumbles twice in one game, so they're going to have to get it back the hard way. Week 1 is not that predictive of how the rest of the season is going to go. You're right, Nick. But again, it's the fact that there are only 17 games and you only get so many chances to win games. There are going to be games this year where we just kind of get dominated or soundly beat. So when you have the opportunity to win a game, you have to punch it in. Like I can't play the game of, it's just one game or it's just week 1 or whatever, knowing that this team doesn't have the talent advantage to throw away games they should win and still be really good. No gain. Josh Allen might get his chance. Well, that's the thing about Geno. He was able to find ways to produce passable football, even with a really bad offensive line and some pretty bad play calling. Right? Like, we had bad games, but today was an extreme. Like, we basically had one good drive, and then we had 2 field goal drives. So that's like half a good drive for each. And most of our good drives in this game were scripted. Like that's the thing. Like that's why I say that. Like, the offensive production today was incredibly anemic against a pretty depleted defense. And Geno's the guy who has shown that he can produce with bad play calling and bad offensive line play. Wait a minute. Was that a first down? Was that a first down? I didn't see if he got it or not. No, wow, he didn't. Okay. I mean, there's a formula in place here. I understand that. Like that's the thing. The formula with the team this year is to run the ball and let Sam Darnold just kind of manage the game. And when we break that formula, it's not really Darnold's fault if he can't perform. But that's kind of the thing. Can he perform? The answer is probably no. And Geno could. That's the difference here. Hmm. Josh Allen, come on, man. 6 yards is not going to do much. Yeah, the Milrow thing was maddening, man. I cannot believe we actually stalled out what was it, the first drive of the game for a Jalen Milrow play. Like, what are we doing? Waldron's offense was way better than this. Waldron's offense was not that bad. We had a top 10 offense in 2022, and even 2023, it was actually above average. Get out of bounds. All right, come on, Buffalo. What do you got for me? Maybe we can at least get some of these fantasy points from Josh. I don't know if I thought Darnold looked nervous in the pocket. There was definitely a sense of... there was definitely a sense that things could go badly. Oh! Field goal range. Field goal range. I need something positive to get me hyped for the rest of the season. JSN might put up 1,500 yards. Oh. Ooh. Although, actually, that's probably a good thing, right? That's probably a good thing that he went down there when you think about it. Oh, I think we had a sub. I missed who it was, though. I'm sorry. Terry Takuchi. Thank you for the sub. Welcome to the channel. Sorry about that. If Sam Darnold plays well against the Seahawks, will that change your mind? I mean, no, not really. Like, my stance on Darnold is relatively steady. He's okay. You can win with him managing the game, but you're not going to be able to win with him being the man the way we were able to win with Russell Wilson or Geno Smith being the man. And if he plays well against the Steelers, great, but that doesn't change who he is as a quarterback, I don't think. Hmm. Jair Alexander is toast. Wow, okay. Are the Ravens? Yeah, Ravens have timeouts. Okay. We won more than we lost with Geno, New Blacks. And that was with a terrible offensive line and mostly a terrible defense. I don't know what you expect him to do. Not everybody's Joe Burrow. It wasn't a bad existence. It really wasn't a bad existence. It wasn't everything we wanted, but it was a nice little foundation to build on, and I don't know. I don't know if we're going to end up happy with the direction this took. Oh, man. I would have such a hard time trusting kickers in this spot. I would almost always try to pound it in. Geno was absolutely the man for the Seahawks. He was our best player 3 straight seasons. Maybe last year Leonard Williams was better, but y'all don't understand how hard it was to be the quarterback for the Seahawks offense last year. It was literally the hardest mode possible. I'll be perfectly honest. I think there are like 25 quarterbacks in the league that would have won this game. Like, I'm not saying Darnold played bad or that he was the reason why we lost, but I don't think he played good. And I think there are a lot of quarterbacks out there that would have won it. All right, here we go, Buffalo. Oh, that got close to being blocked. Okay. Buffalo wins. How did Baltimore choke that? How did they do that? Wow, man. What a game. What a game. Oh, yeah, Joey Bosa's on the Bills now. I forgot about that, too. Feels like he hasn't done anything in a while. Has he been good lately? Geno wasn't a franchise quarterback for the caliber of the modern NFL. He absolutely was. Harbaugh has to be on the hot seat. I doubt it. It's an interesting argument, though. The Ravens are really good at having historically great regular seasons and then gagging in the playoffs pretty early. Yeah, guys, Schneider's not going anywhere. Like, I'm sorry, but if there's any part of you that is thinking that this season could end in John Schneider getting fired, I think you need to get it out of your mind. We just extended him, and I imagine that extension total value is close to $100 million. Do you think that Jody Allen, who already seems reticent to spend money on the Seahawks, is going to eat $100 million to get rid of John Schneider and then pay another GM? That's not happening. So I'm sorry. I mean, I'm with you guys. I don't think Schneider's good, but we're riding with him. All right. 60 seconds, people. Before I go any further, I want to tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. If you're not using Sleeper this year, you are missing out. Look at all the great stuff you can get up to over there. Look at all the great picks you can make. Let's make some picks for this weekend. My entry is Jahmyr Gibbs with an anytime touchdown. I think that Green Bay run defense is going to get hurt a little bit by losing Kenny Clark. I've got Malik Neighbors. I got that one on sale. He only has to get to 64 receiving yards. He could do that in one play in that Giants-Washington game that I think will be pretty high scoring. I've also got Brock Bowers over 63.5 receiving yards. Who else is Geno going to throw the ball to? And Bucky Irving with an anytime touchdown. I think that Tampa Bay-Atlanta game is going to be pretty high scoring. I say he gets in the end zone. So go check out Sleeper. Use promo code SBN, and you'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Okay. Welcome back. I think we are about to wrap things up for the night, though. I think that we have said all that can be said. Thank you to everybody who participated in chat. Thank you to everybody who showed up. Thank you to all the donators. We got up to $95. We got quite a few subscribers as well. So we're doing well, but the team did not hold their end of the bargain today. And that's never fun. All right. Well, that was a really good Sunday night football game, I guess. We got that. And tomorrow we've got what? Minnesota and Chicago? Well, CD Woods, I mean, what are we going to do? If Darnold goes out there and doesn't deliver, and then we're seeing Geno rip it up in Las Vegas, what are we supposed to do? How are we not supposed to evaluate that when we're trying to figure out how good our decision makers are? If the decision makers made a mistake, then I think they need to be judged for it. Just like when we traded Russell Wilson, everybody wanted to see what was Russell Wilson going to do in Denver. And if he did great, that was going to be a tremendous indicator that the decision makers in Seattle were doing a bad job. So this stuff matters. All right, man. See you guys later. Go Hawks, but not a good week. Yeah, it is ending Yoshi mode. I'm turning it off now. I just needed to address that real quick.